Welcome, everyone, to the Seamless.AI daily training webinar. We really appreciate you joining us here today. We look forward to getting started here in just a few moments. This is a group training here today, so we're just going to give everyone 2 or 3 minutes to get settled in here. But looking forward to sharing some best practices and tips and tricks with you over the course of the next 60 minutes. Quick overview in terms of just some things to note as part of the webinar here today. So first of all, if you have any questions that come up as we're going through the webinar or as we're going over any particular detail of the demo, and you want to reach out to us or raise your hand, the best way to do that is use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. So if you look at the bottom of your Zoom screen, there will be a button that says Q&A. You click that, it's going to open up a little text box. Just type in whatever question you have there or anything you want us to go into more detail with, or even if you have a feature request as we're going over something. You know, I, as the product lead here, really appreciate hearing feedback or even recommendations on how we can improve our products. So even if it's not a question and it's just a feature request that you want to share with us, feel free to type that into that Q&A box. But use that liberally today, because we want to make sure as part of the next 60 minutes, you get as much out of this as possible. So we really appreciate all the feedback that we get as part of this webinar, because we also use that to impact future webinars as well, to make sure we're sharing as best as possible with our end users and you get as much as you can out of this webinar here today. In terms of who's going to be sharing that information with you, my name is Jake Phillips. I'm the VP of product here at Seamless.AI. So again, I really appreciate all of the feedback that I hear as part of this. It goes into our product roadmap and it goes in to help us to improve and continuously develop the product here. So let us know as anything comes up and you need us to go into more detail. But covering the bases in detail as part of the webinar here today, and joining me is David Toll. David is our Director of Customer Success. So David works with all of our customers, with our internal teams, and making sure that our help center is as accurate and as useful and up to date as possible. So we'll show you how to use the help center if you have any questions coming out of here. Any of the support tickets that come in that people have questions about, he's helping to lead that team and make sure we're as effective as we can be in helping and supporting, and then also just developing methods continuously to lead our customers into a more successful overall just process using Seamless and beyond, and just building out your sales pipeline. So he's instrumental in building that out. So I'm really excited to have David here sharing the ins and outs of the platform with you, because between he and I, we've pretty much seen everything under the sun. So don't be shy about asking us questions as anything comes up. So with that said, we're coming up right on about 4 after the hour. So we'll get things kicked off here. So with that, I'll hand things over to my colleague, David, and let him pick it up and start the webinar. So David, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Jake. Appreciate the intro. And thanks to everybody for joining in today. We're excited to have you on the webinar. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my screen here so you can take a look at the application. Quick overview of some of the high points that we'll hit. We'll go through using the native search application here on Seamless.ai, both our contact search engine and our company search engine. We'll also take a look at some settings that you can use to personalize your experience here, to track and set goals for yourself, and tie your lead data into as much of your technology stack as possible to build tons of automations and efficiency gains across your sales and marketing funnel. And then we'll take a look at our Chrome extension, which you can see I have installed right here, and the multiple places that you can use that across the rest of your online experience, company websites, CRM, and within LinkedIn suite of products as well. We'll focus in particular on the experience using the Chrome extension within LinkedIn Sales Navigator, not to favor that or anything, but we just had, as Jake mentioned, we try to tailor these webinars around feedback from our most successful customers so you can replicate their success and go a little bit deeper than just a technical overview of how to use the product, and more holistically into what you can do to leverage Seamless.ai and the power of real-time search. To not, yes, of course, you want to generate more pipeline and create more lead opportunities, but how this can incorporate more fully into everything you're doing to grow your audience, grow your business, get your products and services into the hands of people whose lives are going to be improved by them. At a very high level, that's why we're here. That's why we get up in the morning. Yes, we love the app. We love AI. We love automation. Those are things that we get fired up about. But ultimately, our mission is to improve the lives of everybody on any side of the sales process. You'll hear Brandon Bernanson, our CEO and founder, talk about positively impacting over 1 billion people. Well, that's how we want to do it. We want to improve the experience of you and everybody in sales, and all of the people out there whose products and services, people out there who need them, people out there whose lives are going to be made better, whose lives are going to be changed by what you have to offer. We just need to make sure we're automating the experience of getting you in touch with them and helping you access the contact data you need to introduce yourself, make the value clear, and then you can take it from there. You know how to sell and market your product. You know how to get it into their hands and close that deal. Let's automate the process of generating those lead lists and getting you access to large swaths of data using real-time search, automation, and artificial intelligence. As Jake mentioned, make use of that Q&A button at the bottom. That is exactly how we will tailor today's session to your specific needs. If there are features or questions that you want to make sure we cover, that's where we want you to go. Chat that in, and then I'll be honest. We've got some items that we're going to cover today. I've got an agenda and a schedule and how we're going to walk through it, but I want that Q&A active. I want to see questions coming in, and if I have an opportunity to respond to it in real time, I absolutely will. We're happy to improvise, but that being said, we'll make sure to highlight some of those power user pro tips, the value points that'll help you replicate the success of our biggest customers, of our power users. So we'll dive into that. A couple of features I want to call out first so you know where to keep the conversation going and continue to get support after the webinar is over. If you have questions for us or thoughts or ideas or feedback, or you just want to say hi, come on down here to the help icon within the app. If you click on that, you're going to be able to search. First, you'll be able to submit a ticket if you have a question and you want to talk to a person on our team. That's definitely something you can do right here. Let us know why you're reaching out, and don't feel like you need to limit it to technical support. If you have strategic questions and you need help finding more accurate phone numbers or emails, if you're looking to increase your search yield, grow your audience, loop us in. We want to help. Send us anything that we can use as resources. You can send over audio files, videos, data sets for us to review, anything and everything that's going to help us make you successful. And if you're on a Seamless.AI unlimited license, you do get priority support over the rest of our free users. We do let you cut the line a little bit to that extent and make sure that you get that quick response. But if you just open this, right, you'll have the opportunity to search our entire knowledge management system from directly within the app. So you can access different sales hacks, training videos, on-demand learning content, walkthroughs, user guides, anything you can think of is probably going to be in here. And if you want to go a little bit deeper and browse, you can expand the Knowledge Management Center right there. Go through different learning tracks, whether it's 101 if you're just getting started, or if you're ready for some pro tips and sales hacks from our power users or from our team, or video training. If you want to review this webinar, like if we answer some very specific questions that you have for your organization, we post all of these daily webinar recordings back in our Knowledge Management Center. So if you want to refer back to this specific one, you can come back to that date and time and find it and go back and review it. Good opportunity to share it with folks internally. If you say, man, more of my team needs to have access to this knowledge, you can point them right in this direction, in addition to a lot of the general on-demand video content we have for individual features and for using the platform in general. Podcast as well. Our founder and CEO, Brandon Bernanson, is hosting a bi-weekly podcast twice a week with rock stars in the sale industry, folks who are providing their own scripts, templates, pro tips, sales hacks, everything they're doing to generate success to help you become a seven-figure salesperson as well. Product roadmap is available for your perusal as well, along with the ability to submit requests to our product roadmap. We also welcome you. Like I said, anytime you see this here, you can go ahead and run a search, populate a ticket, and send us a request directly so we can log that across the rest of our features. Yeah, lots available here. Please definitely make sure you take advantage of those resources. We want you to be as self-sufficient as possible. And then one more thing, this tour icon is going to be pervasive throughout the site. Wherever you see it, you're going to be able to click on it and get an AI chatbot style guided tour from Jake, our VP of product. We will launch these automatically whenever we release new features, or if you happen upon a feature you haven't used before. If you're like me, you're probably going to exit out of these as soon as you see it. Don't worry, feel free. You can do it in your own time. As long as you head back to this tour button, you can easily repopulate it. And this is going to be dynamic across the site, so no matter what feature you're on, you'll be able to pull up a specific tour to that use case and walk through it. All right. Good stuff, folks. So I'm keeping an eye on the Q&A. I'm seeing some good questions come in, all things that we're going to cover. So please, everybody else, make sure you get your request in as well. Yes, we're going to touch on how to download lists. Yes, we're going to touch on how to import into your CRM. Those are things that we will cover as part of the settings and a little further into the search process. Before we dive into some of those specifics, I do want to start from the very beginning. How do you start searching for contacts? What are some of the ways you can do that? And we'll start from the contact search here within the app. One thing I will call out before we perform any searches, because it's going to help contextualize all of the power user pro tips that we're going to deliver today, and give you, a little bit of preparation for some of the shifts you might have to make, habits you might have to rebuild or revisit when you're using real-time search instead of a database. This is not a database that you see before you. Yes, we have some data tabled up to help make real-time search as accurate as possible, but we are not a database. We're a search engine. We'll get that question sometime. People will say, hey, how many contacts from this industry do you have in your database? And we'll have to walk it back a bit and say, well, we're not a database. We're a search engine. So the answer to that question is dependent upon the real-time data that we're accessing across the entire ecosystem, the digital footprint of all of your potential contacts. And then we're pulling that in here for you and running that data through a multi-step AI validation process to provide accurate contact info across emails and phone numbers. I point that out, though, because if you've been in sales and marketing long enough, database-style solutions are probably the only thing you ever used. They were the only solution available on the market for the longest time. I mean, heck, that's what our founder, Brandon, was using when he was selling for companies like Google and IBM. He was using database-style solutions to try to grow his market, hit his goals, but it wasn't enough. He was having to go home and run his own manual real-time searches to go to LinkedIn, go to company websites, go to news media, find more contacts because he wasn't building the pipeline that he needed in order to hit his goals. The database wasn't giving him enough. And when he ran real-time searches outside of that database to find more leads, he found he was missing 80 to 90% of his total addressable market by limiting himself to a database-style solution that was being manually operated and takes time to update that data. In one of those solutions, if somebody changes jobs, you're not likely to get that update for another 4 months until after the fact. If you're using real-time search, as soon as they update their digital footprint and their LinkedIn profile, that's going to populate in our results. So that's exactly what Brandon did. He worked with developers in his network to build out a real-time search engine that could help him access that 80 to 90% of his market that he was missing. That's what built his success, and that's why you see this before you today, because once it worked for him, the next step was, how do we get this into everybody's hands and arm everyone in sales and marketing with the ability to automate lead generation so you can focus on selling, focus on getting your products and services into the right hands. So just bear that in mind. We will call out the opportunities where it will behoove you to treat this like a search engine instead of like a database, and where other customers have shared with us, I had some habits to break. I had some ingrained behaviors that I had to recognize in myself that I assumed was the only way to work. And because I pushed myself out of that mode and embraced the power of real-time search, I achieved massive success. I closed more deals. I booked more meetings. And I was able to get to the life that I want, the job that I want, the car that I want, the house that I want. We'll call those out as we go along to make sure you know how to embrace this as a search engine and not just a database. All right, so let's dive into exactly how we'll do that. Within the contact search here, we'll look at each one of these 4 filters. They're fairly straightforward, but we'll look at how each one will help you embrace the power of real-time search. So at a company level, I'm going to go ahead and follow the prompt and search for Nike. Now, what I'm noticing here, I might run a quick refresh, because what I always recommend is making sure you have exact company matching in place. So if I'm signed in and everything's firing correctly, you can search for 10 companies at a time. So if you know exactly what companies you're searching for, you can go ahead and enter them here. But what I always say to make sure you let this pick list populate so we can perform exact company matching for contacts that you're looking for, right? Moving on, titles. This is where you can start to get into some of these power user pro tips. Casting a wide net. For some context here too, we're running synonym matching when you use this title search. So, you don't have to enter in every possible iteration for VP, like Vice President, EVP, SVP, etc. That's already happening in the background. We're taking care of that for you, so don't worry about that. But I'm probably going to go a little bit further here on the advice of our most successful customers. I'm going to go beyond the usual titles that I'll target as decision makers. And the reason I'm going to do this is that I'm not in a database and I'm not going to end up paying my way up the organizational ladder. If I were using a database style solution, I would absolutely limit myself to executives, VPs, because I know I have to be cost conscious. I know that I'm going to have to end up paying more for their contact data than I will for others. So I have to be careful. I have to be thorough and deliberate about which titles I filter for, which means I have to be slow. That's not how we operate. We don't charge you and nickel and dime you up the organizational ladder. We have democratized the data so that if you're in here searching for CEOs and VPs, there's no reason not to also include directors and managers and go a little bit outside the circle you normally search for to bring in that real-time data. And I'm telling you this because the customers of ours who have done that, who have gone a little bit outside the scope that they normally search for, have said, wow, I booked more qualified meetings. I closed more business because I gave myself more opportunities to connect with my audience than I was able to in a database style solution. You'd be surprised how many directors and managers out there are decision makers. Ultimately, you're trying to make sure that you get that through line in place effectively to make sure you can get your products and services into the right eyes. So cast a wide net. Use real-time search to get as many of these variables in place as you can to go as big as you can. Keywords will help you go even further. So keywords are going to go beyond what's in somebody's title, and you can actually get into what their body of work includes. So they don't have to have marketing or product in their title to be included in this search now. If there's anything in their digital footprint, their biography, news media, LinkedIn profile, job description, previous history that shows them being related to that field and relevant to that keyword, they're going to appear in your search. So keywords allow you to go even broader than what you see in title if you're really looking to cast a wide net. And then finally, name. If there's an individual you're looking for, you can search by name at a company for a title. That's definitely something you can do. One thing I'll note here as an extra bonus for folks out there who have employees who don't spend their time at a computer or behind a phone trying to generate leads or cold calling or cold emailing, you probably have some folks in your organization that spend a lot of time at trade shows, going to conferences, working a booth. Maybe not all of you, but some of you may. We have customers who have provided those teams with access to Seamless.AI as well. And the benefit they're able to consume is from that trade show floor, from that booth. They can have a device open. They can be ready to start tracking who are they meeting, make sure they're validating information on business cards, or even if they see a name tag walk by, you can start to build this contact list and take that analog experience that they're providing out there on the trade show floor and bring more value back to your organization by building up your pipeline. So if you have a team like that, make sure they have access to Seamless.ai. I'll be honest, we didn't build this for those teams, but customers of ours started to use it in that fashion, and it's helped them be more successful and supercharge their pipeline in ways that we didn't even predict. So a pro tip there based on our customers' experience. Let's go ahead and run the search, and that'll help us move forward into the next steps in the process. That once you find these opportunities to accumulate lead data, how you save them, and how you move them forward through your sales and marketing funnel. So I'm going to hit search on these parameters here, and we're going to research over 750 million contacts, over 2 million companies, and just like that, the first round of potential results is right here in front of me. So these results are run page by page. I can click to the next page right here. You can, if you want to be meticulous, find these contacts individually. I know it's probably the impulse you have right off the bat. You see all these opportunities to find email, find phone, find intel. Of course, I want all those things. I want to find all of it. Before we get into how to find and how to find all, there's one very important step that I want to make sure you cover anytime before you start saving contact data, and it's right up here. If you're new to Seamless.ai and you just created your account, you're going to see this as set default list, and this is going to be empty. What I would recommend doing is identify the first 5 campaigns you're going to build out lists for and get those lists saved in Seamless.ai as default lists. You can create new ones as you go. I've got a bunch in here from testing and training. You don't have to have as many as me by any stretch. But I'm going to go ahead and populate a Nike DM list that I already have running. And now, anytime I save a contact by hitting find, we're going to research that contact, find their contact information, validate it, and provide that data back to you, and also automatically add them to that default list. We will take a look at how valuable it will be to have your data organized on lead lists as we get further into the process when it comes to exporting into an Excel spreadsheet or importing into a CRM. But make sure you have this set every time you search. So you can, like I said, go through and find contacts individually. That's not what our power users do. The power users are using this find all button. Find all, once I click it, is going to research and pull back contact data in real time for everybody on this first page of results. And we're already starting to see some results come in. But again, our power users aren't even going to wait that long. They're not going to let it all populate. They're going to hit next right away. And we're going to load up another page of results. Again, running this search in real time. So each time I click next, we're running the search again to bring back new results. That's one of the reasons why I don't see a total down here yet, because we're running it page by page. So if more contacts qualify as I run the search, they will populate and that yield will increase. But I'm going to hit find all again. I'm going to execute that power user behavior. I'm going to hit next. Then I'm going to hit find all. Then I'm going to hit next. Then I'm going to hit find all. If you find yourself hitting next and find all in rapid succession, you're doing something right. That's how you're going to be able to build a list quickly. And when we've exhausted those search results and pulled in everybody who fits those parameters, you'll hit the end of the list. We'll let you know. All right, so before we move forward, let's take a look at some of this contact data so we can talk a bit about this multi-step AI validation process and make sure you know what's happening in the background every time I click find. I'm going to click on Marcus here. So if you ever have questions about how our multi-step AI validation process works, this little window here can be a great resource. You can hover on each factor, each column, and it'll give you more detail on what's happening each step of the way and what we're leveraging, what resources we're using, what type of validation we're performing. And remember the Tor icon that I mentioned toward the top of the call? If I click on that, I'm going to get that chatbot style walkthrough from Jake. There he is, helping me out again, taking me through each piece. But as a quick example, right, like you can go through this and see everything that we're doing to use AI and automation to get this contact data your way. But as a quick example, we're sending, one of those steps is sending a virtual email to the server at Nike.com and reporting back on the response that we get. So these are 3 emails that we found. We found more. There were a ton of emails that populated in our real-time search results. But, you know, Marcus.Wade@Nike.com and MWade@Nike.com were the only ones that pinged back a valid response when we sent a virtual email to Nike saying, is that a real email? Yes or no? So we are transparent about that data. We give you access to it. We show you all the results. They're all ranked according to our AI process, but you have access to everything. In addition to that, we're also pulling in contact intelligence. So from here, you can quickly access LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook data. We do have a direct integration with Salesforce and HubSpot and Outreach, and we're working on more. We will take a look at how to use that, but I have that installed right here. That's what you see when it says add to Salesforce. I can click on that cloud, and I think I might already have a duplicate account in here for Nike. Yep, so it's going to let me know. So it's a very dynamic integration. We'll take a look at how it works, but it ties directly into your Salesforce instance with one click and can detect if you have duplicate accounts, duplicate contacts, and you can decide exactly how you want to map your data over. We'll look at that in a moment, but I just wanted to make sure I addressed it while it was there. Before that, though, I want to make sure we cover this contact intelligence feature. It's easy to miss, but there's a tremendous value added here. On one level, this provides a pretty quick and easy answer to the question we get sometimes. Where are you getting all of this data? What are you referencing? What are you searching? This can give you a pretty broad overview of all the different resources we use to validate information and search in real time. But more than that, and more powerfully, hopefully, this gives you a resource to intelligently script your pitch when you're reaching out to Marcus. So if you're going to cold call Marcus or cold email Marcus, you need to know a bit about him. You have to understand, what does he value? Where else has he worked? What's he posting about? What's he working on right now? What's he responsible for? And at a company level, what's Nike doing like financially right now? What does their Google profile have to say? What kind of paid search intelligence can I find? What kind of website grade? What kind of Alexa score? What job postings? Employee reviews? As this is part of our search process, we also want to make sure we're bringing this back as a value add to you, so you can jump in here and learn more about what's happening at the company, what's happening with Marcus, so you can quickly demonstrate to him, I've done my research, I know what you value, I know that you need this, I'm not here to waste your time, I'm here to improve your life, right? Marketers will want to talk to you. They'll want to know more about your products and services. Everybody wants their lives to be improved, right? So this gives you the ability to quickly come in and script that pitch intelligently using the research that we've already performed. Remember these fields as we get to the CRM integration, because we'll go through some ways that you can map them directly into your CRM as part of that import. So I'm going to click back to my contacts, and I want to call out that we've moved from the search section to my contacts. Different section, this is where you can go once the contact is saved to your account. And you'll see a few additional features here that populate that weren't available in search, because this is where you can review your search results. So if I scroll down, I will see a number down here. I'll see that I have 5,496 contacts saved. Now I do have a count because these contacts have been researched and saved to my Seamless.AI account. Now, to move these to the next step in my sales and marketing funnel, I mean, obviously you can pick up the phone and call Chris directly from right here, right? But hopefully you have some additional resources at your disposal to automate direct dials, to automate email marketing that you want to get this contact data into to drive growing your audience at scale. If you just need to download these into an Excel to take them to that next step, easily done. All you come up here, you go to download, and you can download all of your contacts in one fell swoop. I know I'm going to get a question here. Download all clean, download all raw. What's the difference between the two, right? Pretty straightforward. The clean file is what most of our customers use. It's still going to give you way more data than you probably need, about 32 columns total. The raw file is going to include all of the data, whether it passed our validation process or not. The clean file will give you the top 3 phone numbers for company contact and email that you see right here. But if you want the rest of this data, invalid or no, the raw file will include all of it for you. We make it available. We have some customers who are really dedicated data hounds, and they want to make sure they get access to every little bit that they can. But if you're just looking to make a direct outreach and you don't need that extra data on hand, the clean file is going to give you what you need. It's what most of our customers use. Now, remember how I talked about lead lists, and I took that time to really drill home how important they were? Well, now it's going to pay off. Now is when saving all of your contacts to a lead list as you search will help make your life easier when it comes to downloading or importing. Because you probably heard me say you can download all these contacts at once and said, okay, I'll get the Excel open and I'll slice and dice it and I'll perform my Excel jujitsu to get it tabled the way I need. You probably will still have to do a little bit of that, but let's make your life easier, right? If you just need to download this Nike DM list, go to the little filter icon right here in the top of the column and pick the list you want to download. I'm going to go to Nike DM. I'm going to go to apply, and here they are. So now I'm just going to be downloading these 40 contacts on this Nike DM list when I hit download and select download filtered clean. I can perform additional filters here as well. I can just look at validated business email. We do get some personal email information. I want to call that out. Primarily, the data we pull in via real-time search is B2B. That's really where our sweet spot is and what tends to be most available. But we do get some personal email information as well, and we're able to validate it. We'll provide that to you. You could filter that here as well. Or if you just want to run a direct dial campaign and you don't want to mess with anybody for whom we didn't find a contact phone number, use these filters to do yourself a favor. Filter the list before you export it so that you can work with what you need to work with. Now on that front too, in addition to exporting, you can use this to import. So I showed you that one click that you can use to import to Salesforce, and I know I have a lot of Nike accounts duplicated, so I'm going to go ahead and say send to this one. So now it's going to send it import it to that account. Now you can do it one-to-one, but you can also mass import these as well. So if I want to import all of the Nike DM contacts and I have the Salesforce integration installed, I can go to import, and I can hit import filter, and that would send all of them over in one fell swoop. Now this one was sent over. I selected an account to append it to. When I click on that blue Salesforce cloud, indicating that the account has populated over into my CRM, I can pop it open and take a look, and all this information, oh, hey prompt, how you doing? All this information is already mapped over anything that I specified in my CRM setup. Now let's take a look at that here. Right, I want to make sure we review our CRM setup. If you're not a Salesforce customer today, don't worry. We have other integrations that work almost the exact same way, and we have other integrations on our product roadmap to help you connect more data points across your technology stack. So I'm going to go to our settings, and this is a great place to jump in and get started. This link to take a quick tour will actually jump you right back into our knowledge base, to that 101 learning track that I highlighted at the beginning of the call. Great resource for folks getting started on your team, or if you just need a general refresher to make sure, hey, have I done everything that I should be doing to get the 5 most important features enabled right away? Great place to come in and double check that. Add to Google Chrome. So you can jump right from here to the link to our to the Google Chrome store where you can download our Chrome extension. If you don't already have this done, don't wait until the end of the call. Go get this accomplished right now. Get that Chrome extension added to your browser. It's so powerful. It helps you take Seamless.AI search with you across all of your online activity. Go do it immediately. Don't even wait. And then finally, add to CRM. So like I said, direct integrations with Salesforce, HubSpot, and Outreach. Now, we can take a further look at connected apps right over here. And this is where you will see more integrations accumulate as we add them to our ecosystem. In the meantime, the spirit of our product, we want to be holistic. We want to help drive success. So we want to tie into as much of your technology stack as we can while we're building out more of those direct integrations. Some of the ones we have immediately on our roadmap are SalesLoft, Zoho, Pipedrive, dialers, CRMs. That's a lot of the space that we're looking right now, right? And more to come. That's just the tip of the iceberg. But we don't want you to have to wait. That's why we're part of Zapier's ecosystem. I'm going to go ahead and click on that to help show you what you can do to activate this beta mode. If you're not familiar with Zapier, they're a third-party technology product that specializes in tying solutions together. So all of these apps are part of Zapier's ecosystem. You don't have to know how to write a line of code in order to make this work, but you can trigger actions from one solution to another by building what Zapier calls a zap using pre-populated options that they've already configured for you. So you don't have to write code to connect these two items. All you have to be able to do is access the API and then provide one data point to Zapier, and then you can map it out from there. For instance, if you want to send your team a Slack notification in a particular channel when a lead is saved to Seamless.AI, Zapier can do that. If you want an email to be validated and then added to a MailChimp campaign, Zapier can do that. If you want to add a contact to a ClickFunnels campaign or a Gravity form or to Pipedrive or to Zoho or to Mojo Dialer or to an Excel spreadsheet even, Zapier can do that. It's all possible. You have thousands of apps that you can use to connect the rest of your system into. So definitely worth a look if you like building out automations. We do a lot of our own actually on our product and our CS team. Once you have a direct integration installed though, right? So Zapier will allow you to map certain fields over. The reason we're pursuing so many direct integrations is we want to help you personalize that process as much as possible. So I'm going to click on CRM Setup right here. And this is where you can get a view of some of the personalization and preferences you can select when you apply the CRM integration. If your whole team is on Seamless, which we recommend making sure everybody on your organization in sales and marketing at least has a seat, if not an unlimited license, you can create organizational settings and set this to no so that everybody is using the same rules to fire data into your CRM to create consistency. You can set this to yes if there really is a need to give people the leeway to create their own settings, but our recommendation is to keep it as no unless there's a really good reason to do it otherwise. Keeping that integrity of data and the consistency of how it's being ported can have a huge impact on your ability to keep things straight in your CRM. You can choose whether to import as contacts or leads with Salesforce, and you can choose to automatically import. So I didn't have this turned on before, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it on now. So you can take a look at the efficiency gain you get when the automatic import is in place. Now, it would make sense to have this turned on to no right away because you want to make sure that you have the data mappings in place that make sense for you and your organization, right? We're going to let you know if there's validation in place that a field is required. We're going to, as soon as you provide this one-click integration to get the Salesforce integration installed, all of your fields are available. All of your contact fields, all of your lead fields, depending on how you're tracking this data, is all going to be there for you. And you can add as many new mappings as you need from the seamless data that we're providing. And remember that contact intelligence, the advertising intelligence, the Alexa score, even local weather. Those are all data points that you can map over into your Salesforce instance. As long as you have a corresponding field, you can get it over there. So this is giving me real-time access to the fields that are available in my Salesforce instance, and it's giving me some of the validation rules that are in place so I can make sure I'm providing a clean port. Some other features to call out, you can set your preferences so that if an email brings back an invalid status as part of that validation process we looked at earlier, don't even port it into Salesforce, right? You have the option, but I recommend setting this to no to make sure you keep your data as high priority as possible. And then this one too, override existing company contact data with seamless data. That might sound a little daunting, but I would recommend turning this to yes. The reason is that this way you can enrich your data as you search in real time, and you can mitigate data decay through an existing process that you're already going to run by building up your pipeline. If you're not already doing something about data decay, definitely look into some solutions on that front, but this is the way that you can add some additional value by enriching your data as you search and make sure you're using real-time data that we're accumulating to populate into your CRM. But lots of options here, lots of preferences you can set to personalize it as much as you can. And we also have lots of documentation on all of our CRM integrations in our knowledge management center. We even have some use cases built out so that if you don't have, if you use Pipedrive, for example, and we don't integrate yet, we'll still show you as much as we can how to use Zapier to get those connected as well. So make sure to give our Knowledge Management Center a look. Even if we don't have a direct integration in place, you can follow these steps to get Zapier connected, regardless of whatever CRM you're using. The steps are virtually the same. Okay, so let's take a look at a few other features that we can use to personalize your account. You might have seen this gong up here throughout the call, and you might have seen this percentage increasing automatically as I've saved contact data. Well, let's take a look at what's happening there. I'm going to click upon this gong, and I'm going to have an opportunity to track my progress. Now, where is this coming from? The income calculator feature allows you to set your own salary, and with a couple of other inputs that you provide to us, average commission, booked appointment conversion rate, closed won sales conversion rate, we can tell you, based on where you want to get at the end of the year, automatically in real time, how many leads you need to save every day, every week, every month, every year to hit that goal. We think this is the best possible time ever to be in sales and marketing because the technology is available to automate all the boring lead gen stuff so you can get out there and get in touch with people, hit these goals, set your own salary and be in charge of your own success. And if you're smart, you won't settle for the 1x because if I do that, I'll sit here and say like, yeah, it's getting toward the end of the day. I'm going to hit my goal. Give yourself that psychological edge, 3x, 5x, 10x your goal so that you push yourself to achieve as much as you possibly can and go beyond the bare minimum. Right? Now, this is going to automatically track leads generated. We're not automatically tracking booked appointments or closed business. We're not trying to be a system of record on that front for like a VP of finance. But we do want to give you and your team the ability to celebrate your wins, celebrate your success, and to make celebrating pipeline part of that conversation, part of that experience. You might have something on your end that you do internally to celebrate a closed deal, right? In our office, we've got a big old gong in the corner that whenever anybody closes a big deal or closes any deal, they'll go over and they'll give the gong a hit. Well, now you can do the same thing in our app to celebrate booked appointments and closed business. All you have to do is come on up here, see the little mallet. I'm going to click my mouse. We're going to make it rain. We're going to generate one of the finest, only the highest caliber gifts, hand selected by our development team. And then you'll have a chance to share that success, get some social proof out there. You'll see notifications pop up as your team adds more, is heating up, if they're adding more leads, if they're booking more meetings. And then I can get that social proof out there and share this on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, demonstrate to my audience that I'm heating up, my product is heating up, we're changing people's lives, we're improving the world. And as an added bonus, when I do use this feature to share my success, if you're signed up for our affiliate program, and I'll show you where you can do that right here. So our affiliate program is a great way to share the power of Seamless with people in your network outside of your current organization. You know, I've talked a lot about, getting everybody on your team on board. We definitely want you to do that. But we also want to make sure you have an opportunity to share the product outside of your organization with the rest of your network. And if you want to earn some commission along the way, all you have to do is come in here and create your affiliate code, connect your PayPal account, and then get the word out. We provide resources if you really want to do that aggressively. But if you hit that gong and you share that on LinkedIn, it's going to automatically include a link to your affiliate code so that anybody who signs up through it, well, you'll get credit for it. You'll get some commission for it along the way, right? So it's pretty aggressive commission structure. We want to make sure that we give you some love for sharing the product when you're able to bring us new business and help us grow our network and keep improving the lives of everybody out there. So just a quick call out, a little pro tip that if you use that, maybe have the affiliate link set up, just in case it helps get you some extra commission. Now, like I said, this is for people outside of your organization, for folks within your company. If you want to invite them, use user management. This is where you can invite new members onto your organizational account. So this way you're all tied to the same organizational structure. You can buy new licenses from here. You can distribute licenses accordingly, toggle people from unlimited to free as you need to, and track usage across your team as well. This way you can download it across given periods of time if you need to track behavior and lead generation as part of your reporting process. You can also track this directly from within goal tracking in a little more of a gamified way. So this is where if you want to give your team a view of their performance, or if you want to do a global leaderboard too. If you want to see how you're performing against everybody in the ecosystem, you can. But you can also set this to team, so you can set up some competition, create visibility to who's heating up the most, who's generated the most pipeline so far. And if you want to track booked appointments and sales in here too, by all means, go for it. Anything that's going to help you keep your team motivated, anything that's going to help you log in here every single day to make sure you're keeping your pipeline healthy. And along the way, you can see this rotating as you get closer to hitting your goal. We're going to send you content and pro tips to help you bring it all the way home. All right, taking a little pause here, checking for questions. Not seeing any come through yet. But like I said, as you have more questions, thanks to everybody who submitted some earlier so we can tailor this. Feel free to keep using that. Just because we're midstream here doesn't mean the Q&A has shut down. Get it in there if you'd like. Okay, let's go take a look back at search, and then we're going to jump into the Chrome extension to make sure we cover that as well. So one feature I want to point out here in my contacts, and it's relevant to hitting this goal, right? We released this in conjunction with a recommendations engine. In an effort to make sure that we're helping you set these goals, we're creating accountability, we're tracking usage. We want to make sure you're using the product every day, right? But we want you to tell us how often you need to use it so that we can be a partner in that effort, so that we can be a partner and not just a product to get you where you need to be and help drive your success. To that end, we're also working in the background now to deliver lead recommendations based on your previous searches. So based on the searches I've been performing today, even some of that Nike testing, these recommendations are populated right here, and all I have to do is click save. They've already been validated, and you can see right there they're added, and I can hit save all if I want to bring them all in. So you can come in here, go through these recommendations, get these added as well. We're going to tailor this too and get some future releases out that allow you to tell us exactly what type of recommendations you'd like us to pull in to personalize this experience even more. But in the meantime, make sure you leverage it as a resource to help yourself hit your goals. Now, we looked at contact search. I want to look at company search for a moment, and that'll help leverage us right into looking at the Chrome extension. One thing I want to call out, and this goes back to treating this like a search engine and not a database, right? You'll notice on the contact search, if you're running territory-based searches by location or searches by industry, those aren't pulled up as direct filters here. As we continue to build out a real-time search engine, we'll keep looking at effective ways to table that, but we're not a database. That data isn't all just sitting back here behind the scenes for us to just table together for you with us manually updating it, right? We're using automation to pull this data together in real time. You will see, though, that some of those filters are available at our company search. Our company search is designed to build lists of named accounts. So if you're trying to target specific industries, or you're trying to target specific revenue sizes or locations, like if I'm just looking for California, or if I'm just looking for specific areas in California and I want to build up lists of companies there. We also recently launched a feature as part of the company search for technologies. So if you want to find companies that are using competitors of yours, you can do that now. That's within scope. But again, all of this is done in the company search. So I can run this search, and then it is possible for me to then take that built list of companies and run it through my contact search as well. We have some ways that we've streamlined that to a certain extent. But when I talk to customers who tell me, I'm looking for companies by location and industry, but really I'm looking for contacts. I'm looking to build an email list in a certain area, in a certain industry. If you're looking to get directly to contacts, most of our customers aren't doing it by using these filters, which I want to call out because they're here and it can be tempting to do that. There are ways to make it work, and there are ways to use these two together. But the customers of ours who are running territory-based searches or industry-based searches, they're not using the company search as frequently. They're using our social search. They're using our Chrome extension. So I'm going to show you how that works. You don't have to hit this button, but it's a good way to introduce it. So let's say I want to keep running this Nike search in LinkedIn. I'm going to hit social, and it's going to automatically add these filters to LinkedIn standard search so I can continue to expand my results and add more contacts from LinkedIn directly and not from within the app. The Chrome extension, which I have installed here, when it's layered over LinkedIn, this is the experience that you'll see pretty consistently across LinkedIn's suite of products: Recruiter, Premium, Sales Navigator, Standard, etc. The Find All button is still there. The ability to monitor lists is still there. And I can find contacts individually, or I can hit Find All, just like a power user. And I'm not touching the scroll. I'm letting it automatically populate back up. And then I can hit Next, and keep rolling through my search. And you'll see sometimes, see how it took a second for those to populate? That's normal. Remember, this is a Chrome extension. It's not directly integrated into LinkedIn. It's not directly integrated into any of the other areas where you can use it. We're waiting for this page to load first, and then we're populating the Chrome extension. Yeah, so if you ever run into any issues using the Chrome extension, almost every time if you see like a retry error here or something, refreshing the page is going to do the trick because it just means we need to reload it and get that connection reestablished. But just to demonstrate the power here of using this search, let's say I just want to focus on Nike contacts in the San Francisco Bay Area. LinkedIn will let me narrow that down, and now I can focus that search directly to this set of contacts. Now, let's touch on Sales Navigator, because the filters in there are even more robust. So I have the ability in Sales Nav to save searches. I can see who's new, and I can come back and run that. I also have more filters at my disposal. I can look by industry. I can look by seniority level. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a paid product, and to be transparent too, we're not a direct affiliate of LinkedIn. I'm not going to get any extra kickback for saying, hey, you should take a look at some of their premium products like Sales Navigator. I'm pointing it out, and I'm going to demo it a little bit because so many of our customers have come back to us and said, wow, I already use Sales Navigator, and I got so much more value out of it because I was able to use your Chrome extension too. I mean, we've had customers come in and say, oh, yeah, I've heard of Sales Navigator, but haven't used it. Let me go run a 30-day free trial and see what I find. And the results they generate more than justify the initial cost of bringing it on. So again, I'm happy to come in here and tell you, hey, if you're not currently using this, it's not our solution, but give it a look. You know why? It works. And we want you to be successful. We want you to improve the lives of everybody in your audience, whatever it takes. And if that means maybe using somebody else's product too, that's fine. A lot of our customers have done this and had massive success. We want to make sure you're aware of that so you can replicate that success too. At a high level, one of the other benefits too, I can continue to add lists here. Like right now, I've got architecture, California pulled up. I can take an existing list and add that here. And then when I hit find all, look at how many search results I get per page. About 25. So well more than I get on our app, well more than I get in the standard search for LinkedIn. So definitely some advantages here. And then again, this next and find all function, right? This is what our power users do. Hit next and find all in rapid succession. So again, you don't have to use Sales Navigator to use the Chrome extension. You don't have to use a premium product, but it can generate a ton of ROI. If you're going to go down this path, some pro tips that we've adopted, since we are also power users of LinkedIn products, we have customers over there too. A lot of folks who use our product and their products just like we are. So definitely fans of LinkedIn, even if we're not a direct affiliate. But you see how this is at 7,000, this total number of results? If you're familiar with Sales Navigator, then you know as well as I do that at some point, if I try to pull in all of those results in one day, LinkedIn's commercial use policy is going to kick in, right? We think that's a good policy. We're supportive of it. We think it's great that LinkedIn is providing parameters to make sure that people aren't abusing the platform, right? We also want to make sure that your day is organized in such a way that you know what to expect and that you can pick up where you left off when it comes to accumulating these contacts. So, if you just try to run this and wait for the commercial use policy to kick in, you'll probably get stopped around page 8, 9, or 10. And you'll say, where did I leave off? How do I know where to start again? Well, don't put yourself in that situation. Do what we do and use some of these other filters to get yourself about under 1,000 contacts. If you get yourself about under 1,000 contacts a day, you're going to be pretty safe. It's not written in stone, but something that we've noticed as being effective. And then you can build out these lists to specify exactly which populations you're looking at if you want, and run your list accordingly from there as well. As you can see, some of these contacts are already added, right? My recommendation, don't get hung up on that. Just keep hitting next. Get yourself into that next and find all mode. There will be new contacts in here. They will populate. And as they're being ported back over to Seamless, no matter where you're searching from, we're still running the same multi-step AI validation process against that contact data. So we're checking the email. If we don't get a valid email, we're going to let you know. We're going to provide the best contact data possible. And then you can see where a lot of this is already automatically importing into Salesforce. And so I got John Marks here. I can check out the email information here. Great AI score. Well, we're going to tell you if we get a catch-all response from the server and that's not as strong as a valid response, we're going to be transparent about that. We're going to let you know that we got a catch-all response. It's still going to go through the rest of our process, and we'll rank how effective that email is likely to be. If you want to learn more about the difference between valid, accept all, and some ways that you can monitor these statuses to prevent bounce rates as much as possible, all right there in our Knowledge Management Center. We got a whole bunch of resources around that front. And then the automatic import. See how these are already in? So every single time I hit find out there, guys, they're already in Salesforce. Boom, done. With all the mapping that I already put in place. Now, the Chrome extension goes beyond LinkedIn suite of products. Within that, though, if you want to look at some additional features, I'm not going to demo LinkedIn Recruiter here today just for the sake of time, but it works virtually the same. If you use lead lists in Sales Navigator, that's a good feature to take a look at. It involves an extra click, but that way you can save this list within LinkedIn Sales Nav and get automatic notifications on these contacts activity. And then our find all and find features are here just like anywhere else you're using the Chrome extension in LinkedIn. But don't have to limit yourself to LinkedIn. If you're on a company website, right, if you're out there browsing, you're doing some research, you don't have to wait. You don't have to go back and plug and play into the app or plug and play into LinkedIn. If you have the Chrome extension installed, give it a click from the company website, no matter what page you're on, and we'll research that whole company so you can add those contacts as well. Make sure you have the right default list in place. So we're going to get Jake's phone number. Jake, better look out. We're going to add him. All right. And then I can hit find all. Before I do that, I can also filter. I can still filter this. So if I just want to look at marketing folks at Seamless, I can do that. But I can hit find individually, or I can hit find all, get all those contacts in place. And again, I have the automated Salesforce import installed. So I will even see here when I'm using this version of the Chrome extension in its flyout form, as that data accumulates and populates here, I'll get it. I'll be able to jump right into Salesforce, jump right into contact details, jump right into email, jump right into phone. All of it's right here for me. This flyout also operates in Salesforce. So if you're on an account page and you want to do the same thing, boom. And in this case, I can move on to the next page of results, find all again, get those contacts added. Oh, might see my contact information. Let's see if it comes through. I'll let you know if it's correct. But yeah, we want to provide as many places as possible. Hey, yes, and now you have my cell phone number, guys. Sorry, sorry about to, I'm about to get blown up. But yeah, everybody, look. At the end of the day, we're trying to provide as many opportunities as we can for you to hit these goals. Search from websites, search from within your CRM, search from within the app, search from LinkedIn, search from SalesNav, search from Recruiter. Get as much lead data in here as you possibly can. As we're coming up on the end here, and thanks to everybody who submitted questions, it looks like we were able to get to everybody. And I want to leave us with a reminder of how important it is to continue to build pipeline, especially as we head into the thick of Q4, depending upon your fiscal calendar. Some of you might be in a little bit of a different place. For some of our customers, I know Q4 is the busiest time of the year, because of whatever seasonality you have in place. But for a lot of customers, I know it's tough. It feels like a shorter quarter. People are distracted by the holidays. It's more important than ever to pay attention to your pipeline. Come in here every day and save lead data from recommendations. Go to company websites. Go to your CRM. Get it all filled out. Take advantage of every opportunity you have to close business in Q4. Don't let anyone slip by. And at the very least, set yourself up for success in Q1 with massive pipeline that helps you target as big of an audience as possible with your products and services. Your pipeline is your daily nutrition. It's your daily exercise. It's making your bed in the morning. It's not always the sexiest thing in the world, I get it, but that's why we're positioning it within this gamified experience so that you can track it alongside your booked appointments, alongside your closed business, and so you can celebrate lead generation as part of what it takes to be successful in sales and part of what it takes to get to where you want to be, to get to the salary you've set for yourself so you can get to the life you want, the house you want, the job you want, the boat you want, the computer you want, the velour jacket you want. I don't care what your goal is. We want to help you get there. We want to be a partner in that process, not just a product. So my ask to you is to come back in here every single day, leverage this platform to grow your pipeline, hit these goals, hold yourself accountable to get in here. And if you need to hit 910 leads saved every single day, then by God, come back in here and get them every day. Selfishly for us, that means you're using the product every day to drive your success, to get you to the salary you've set for yourself. and the expectations you have for where you want to be. Everybody will win, but particularly you. So, thank you to everybody who attended. Glad you found it useful. Glad we were able to answer your questions. We are proud to be a part of your success, and we're grateful for your partnership. Come back in every day. Let us know what you need along the way so we can continue to optimize and fine tune the platform. Let us know what you find out. Let us know what you discover. And we welcome the unexpected surprises that help us continue to personalize our roadmap. But bottom line, keep hitting that pipeline hard so that you can make 2020 your biggest and best year yet and make Q4 of 2019 your biggest and best yet. Thank you, everybody. Good luck.